Good morning, welcome back. So let me create one server first. Well, okay. So in today's session, first we will discuss few topics like Ansible.cfg and then multiple environments and tags and what else? Just 1 second. Functions, heterogeneous feature, and then parallelism. Okay, so I'll discuss these topics. Let me connect to the server. Okay, so what is Ansible.cfg? So every software, every package will have some configurations, right? So just like our Nginx, the configuration is available in etc Nginx. Similarly, we have the configuration is available in etc Ansible. Okay, no, it's not installed. Sorry. So we are every time keeping the users, password, inventory, all the things from the command line. Instead of passing it from the command line, we can configure ansible.cfg. Okay, and then you can keep the values there. Okay, so that you no need to pass from the command line. So like you have many options in ansible.cfg. When you start using Ansible, you will understand, but mostly we use few options. We will discuss that now. Okay, cd etc Ansible, and here if you see there is ansible.cfg. Roles also you can mention. Host is nothing but inventory file. Roles you can manage centrally here. Okay, ansible.cfg. Let us just check what is there. Since Ansible 2.11 to general. Okay, so they disabled ansible.cfg from 2.11. No problem. Here Ansible -- version. When you type, you can see where is the config file. Okay, of course you don't have any entries inside that. It's fine. You can see, but the config file is loading from ansible.cfg etc Ansible. So just type Ansible configuration here. So there are 4 places you can mention your Ansible configuration. So the precedence is Ansible_config, wherever you keep it. For example, let me create one test directory here. Okay, inside the test, I'm creating touch ansible.cfg. Okay, so now the first precedence is Ansible_config env variable. Okay, environment variable. So now I'm just setting export Ansible underscore config equal to /home/CentOS /test/Ansible.cfg. Okay, so this is the config file. That's what I'm setting here. Now, if you type Ansible --version, okay, where is it loading? It is loading from the directory we created and the file. So the first precedence is always Ansible checks for this variable. If it is available, then it will load that configuration. Okay, and the second preference is current working directory. Okay, Ansible.cfg in the current directory. Now, for example, I'm unsetting, unset. I'm removing that variable Ansible underscore config. Okay. Now, if you type Ansible version, since I unset that, it is loading obviously from the central directory, etc Ansible directory. Now, if you go inside here and you type Ansible --version, now where is it loading from? It is loading from the current directory. So Ansible is first checking whether this environment variable is set or not. Since it is not set, then the second option is checking in the current directory. Okay, so this is the second option. And the third option they are telling here is in the home directory, but it should be with .ansible.cfg. Okay, it is like hidden. Now what I do here is touch.ansible.cfg. I'm in home directory. I'm creating here. Now you go anywhere, for example, here, and you type Ansible --version. Okay, it is loading from the home directory. So Ansible is checking Ansible underscore config is set or not. Obviously, it is not set, and it is checking in current directory. I am in root directory / Here there is no Ansible.cfg. So the third option is home directory. It should be .ansible.cfg with this file name only. If you don't give dot, it will not load. And the final option is /etc/ansible in this directory. Okay. So what are the options available in this Ansible.cfg? So we have all the options noted down here. Okay, there are a lot of options. And so you can control many things from here. Okay. So, but we'll see few options. Let us check the few options like remote underscore user. Okay. So inside this Ansible, there are Ansible.cfg, there will be few sections. There will be a sample file here. Ansible configuration sample file. Sample example configuration file. An example file is available on GitHub. Oh, they are not maintaining it properly. Let me take another version. They're saying from here, the same thing they're saying. So the file will be look like this. Okay, you can see many options here. So let us work with this. It will be defaults. Now I'll create one directory, Ansible Advanced. So inside this, configuration is the directory. So here, Ansible.cfg should be defaults. Okay. So inside this defaults, there will be remote underscore user, the username you are working on. And then you can keep the password also here. Generally, it is not recommended to keep the password in this ansible.cfg because we are pushing this into our GitHub. So let us use the SSH-based authentication. Okay. For example, let us launch an instance, new node. Okay. Node 1. I'm launching it. And here, OS, let us take the general CentOS. Okay, not our AMI. So let us take this one. Okay. You can keep the password also with the Ansible underscore SSH underscore password here, but not recommended. Okay. Let us take the other approach. So with key pair login. Okay, you can have your key pair attached to this. And yeah, so I'm launching the CentOS instance, not our AMI. This is general, and we are attaching the key pair. Okay. Let me launch this instance. Yeah, so this is loading. Now, what we need to give, we need to give username and then private key and inventory, right? So let me create a file inventory. Okay, I'm just making it as CentOS, and then here, what is the IP address? This one. So this is the inventory, and here I mentioned the user, and I need to have the private key also. So for that purpose, so this is the Ansible server. Here you need to maintain the private key. Okay, inside the server. Okay, don't put it into the repositories. Okay, I have my private key. I'm just taking it. DevOps.pem. Okay, so this is my private key. I'm taking this. I'm creating one PEM file. Permissions should not be more than 600. Remember this, otherwise you are not able to connect. Okay. So this is in my home folder. You can keep it anywhere. Okay. And then, so inside Ansible CFG, there will be a setting for private key file. Okay. Private key file, where is it? It is in home CentOS / DevOps.pem. Okay. And there will be another setting for inventory. You can give the inventory path. You can see, you can give the inventory path. Is it's in the current directory, that is inventory itself. Okay. So username is set, private key path is set, inventory is set. This is the inventory. Now let us able to connect. Just a simple message. Okay. So name demo is on Ansible configuration. Hosts CentOS, and then tasks. Print a message. Okay. This is the task. Ansible dot built-in dot command echo hello from Ansible server. I'm just keeping it inside temp / hello dot text. Remove this quotes. Okay, let us see. Just to test the Ansible.cfg is loading from the current directory and the parameters we gave here is working or not. Okay, that's it. Now let us create one repository here. Ansible Advanced. Git init git branch -m master git remove add origin. Okay, pushing it and then let us clone and try to connect. Git clone Ansible Advanced. So here we have the files in configuration directory. Now if you type Ansible -- version, where it should load the configuration, it should load from the current directory. Okay, you can see it is loading from the current directory. Now Ansible _ playbook. I no need to give -i inventory because I already set it in the Ansible.cfg here. And then I no need to set -e Ansible underscore user because it's already set here. Private key is already set. Inventory is also set. Everything is set here. Okay, I'm just running debug.aml. Okay, it is trying to connect. You can see it connected successfully. Let us see whether it have created the file or not. Okay, so this is normal thing, right? Not our regular thing. Okay, let me connect ssh-i devops.pem CentOS@. This is the IP address. Okay, I am inside that server 3492. So that is 3492 inside node 1. Okay, here let us check in temp directory. It's not created. Let me take shell module. Exit. Hit full. Configuration. Please connecting. Oh shit, sorry. Let us log in inside the server again. Yeah, just the command module is not working because it has some special characters of redirection. So that's the answer we discussed, right? What is the difference between shell module and command module? So in command module, the redirections and the variables of the remote server will not work. So the simple commands only will work, not the redirections, inputs, everything. Those things will not work in the command module. So they will only work in the shell module. So that is about the Ansible configuration. So then on next thing we want to discuss is multiple environments. Okay. So now what is this use case generally? So we will have dev and prod. How can Ansible configure multi-environments with single playbook? Okay. Just understand this. So we always have the problem of working in dev, not working in production. Okay. So this is the universal problem from long back, working in dev. So application is application is fully working in dev environment, but not able to working in production environment. This is the universal problem we are facing from long back. So the problem is because so we have the freedom to install anything in dev server. We will not have firewalls. We will not have strict rules while working on dev servers. But in production, everything is very strict, completely audited. You are not allowed to do anything in production. So that is why always there is a difference between the configurations in dev and then production. So that is why it is not able to work. So the same problem is going to be addressed by Ansible because Ansible playbook you have to use for both dev and prod. You are not allowed to do the manual configuration either in dev server or production server or QA any server. You are only allowed to do the configuration using playbooks so that a single playbook you can run both in dev environment and production environment so that there will be no difference in configuration. So then there will be no problem of working in dev, not working in production. So now let us see. Just understand this. So what is configuration generally? OS, OS version, and then packages and their versions, and services and their status, users, directories, permissions. So these are the configurations, right? And the major problem is from the IP address. So dev and prod have different IP address. Okay. And then passwords. So in dev, DB password is different. Production password is different. So these things are all the same. What is the OS you are working? If you are working in CentOS in dev, and then if you are working on Ubuntu OS in production, then that is not the good configuration. Okay, across the environments, all the configurations, these things, OS versions, packages, services, whether they are running or not, and the users, users can be a different thing. Okay, directories inside the server and the permissions, these things should be the same. Okay, only difference comes from dev IP address is different, production IP address is different, and the passwords. In dev environment, the password may be simple or at least different, but in production environment, the password is complex and it is different from the dev environment. So these two will always change, not only while working with Ansible, while working with Terraform or any other software, these things only will change. So these things we have to manage. So how can we manage? The first thing, by having different inventory. Okay. And the second thing, so passwords not recommended to keep in GitHub or anywhere users can read. Generally, we have walls. While discussing AWS, we have AWS Security Manager. That is nothing but secrets manager. So you store passwords here. Retrieve at runtime. So this is one best approach, or else pass from the command line. Pass from command line or prompt it. Okay, prompt will not have complete automation because prompting needs user intervention. So you need to run the command and you need to provide the password. Okay, so the best way is to keep it inside the secrets manager. How we will discuss in the upcoming sessions, or you can do it from the command line or prompt. So if you address these two things like this, then the remaining configuration is always the same. Now let us do, I'll create one directory here, multi-environment. Okay. So let me launch 2 instances. DevOps -practice. And then I'm just taking t3.medium, no key pair, and this one. So let us just check Ansible folder structure. Okay. You can see. So this is the folder structure yesterday we followed. Roles, inside roles directory, you will have comments, and then you can keep other components. And so now they are saying you create another folder, production and staging. There you can keep the inventory files separate. Okay, here, now what I'm doing here is fun. I will call it as MongoDB dev, and another server, I'll call it as MongoDB production. Okay, now our aim is to create a single playbook so that can work with both the servers, but the IP addresses and the passwords can be different. Okay, so now here, best practice is always create two folders. Sorry, what are they saying is first, yeah, production, staging, and then inventory file product for production servers, inventory file for staging environment. Okay, now inside this you can create inventory. Okay, here I'm just creating MongoDB. What is the IP address? MongoDB dev. This is the IP address. Okay, and I'm creating one more folder, prod. You can keep inventory here, and production is this one. Okay, fine. Yeah, so now I'm going to create mongodb.yaml, and you can create roles here. So inside roles, we have MongoDB also, or let me copy it. This is the MongoDB role. Okay, here we have files, and then we have tasks. MongoDB. Copying this. Hosts MongoDB. And this is also MongoDB. Okay. Yeah, so we have created folders for different environments. We are keeping inventory file here. We are keeping production inventory here. And then roles, and inside roles, we have MongoDB. Everything is good. Now let me push. It full. Okay, so now Ansible underscore playbook -i. Now I'm working for dev environment, dev/inventory. Okay, and then -e Ansible underscore user CentOS -e Ansible underscore password DevOps 321, and then mongodb.yaml. Okay, so like I'm using username and password. So like this, when you are connecting for a dev, you can have, if you have different user, different password, you can always pass from here. So always the better approach is from the command line. So now I am entering. So now it is connecting to 81.179. 81.179 is the dev one. Okay, it is installing. Similarly, for the production, you pass different inventory. Okay, then the same playbook will connect to the production server, but actually, practically, these two can be different. Okay, so we can see this while discussing from Jenkins, how can we automatically fetch different usernames and passwords. For now, you can just imagine. Sorry. It's done. Okay, now you run the same playbook, but targeting different inventory with different username and password ideally. Okay, now you can see it will connect to the different server. Okay, this is 93.78. So this is how you can control a single playbook. Always remember variables will be different. Okay. So how can you manage the variables also? So that is here. You know this colon vas. Okay. I'm just giving name equal to dev server, for example. And then the different variables generally, the demonstration. Here, prod server. So you can get these variables inside the playbook. Let me create another one. Test.ml. Okay. For the demonstration purpose, tasks -name, print the variables according to environment. Ansible built-in debug message. Hello name. Okay, fine. Name dev server, name production server. So you can manage the different variables here also inside the inventory files. And now say this is done. Okay, now I'm targeting production inventory. It should print production server. Now, if you target dev inventory, it should print dev. So you have many options to control the variables and inventory files. Okay, you can see printed dev server. So this is about multiple environments managing. And then the next thing we discuss on tags. create tags. So inside tags, so what are tags? We'll discuss that. Let me keep our, just take the example of catalog. Okay, taking this catalog. And we need catalog service also. Let me create one server for catalog. DevOps practice. T2 micro, this one. Launch instance. So catalog needs one MongoDB. Let me take one MongoDB IP address. So you need to give it inside catalog.service. I'm just giving IP address directly for now. Okay, let me copy this. Just think the task wise. Okay. So this is one-time task. So I'm tagging this. Tagging is very simple. Just come here and then tags, list of tags you can provide. So this is, I'm mentioning it as installation. Okay, so this is one time, right? Generally. So every time you no need to run this again and again. And after this, so this is also one time activity, installing Node.js. And then checking. So this is also one time activity. Creation of user. You don't create again and again. Okay. Let me take it as installation. This is also one time. So this is also one time. And the download. This is not one time. Okay, because whenever the developer released a new version of catalog, you need to download the new version. Okay, so that is generally tags. I'm marking this as a deployment. Okay, so this is as part of deployment. So when the deployment will happen, your catalog is running. We got a new version for the catalog from the developer. You have to, the steps. You have to stop the server generally, download the latest catalog artifact, and then extract it, and then restart the server. Okay, install dependencies is also deployment. Copy catalog service. This is one-time activity. And then daemon reload is also one-time activity. Installation. And this is also one-time activity. So this is also one-time activity. And this is also one time. And this is part of deployment. Okay. So now I just tagged the tasks. This is as part of installation, because you don't need to run these tasks again and again. Now let me push this. git pull cd is the folder tags. Okay. So I know this, I'm running this for the first time. Ansible playbook. Okay. Oh, I don't have inventory here. Let me keep inventory. Catalog. What is the IP address? This is the IP address. Okay. Did I mention this? Yeah. Git pull. Now this is just inventory. And this is catalog.aml. And this is the first time I'm not working on any tags. I will let it, this task will take a lot of time. If you're running for the second time also, it will take the same time. Let it run. .172.176. Yeah. Now just imagine this is for the first time we are configuring the server. Second time you will get new release for your application. So at the time, how can you do? So at that time, you need to provide the tags. Just -t, I will give deployment, then this task will not run. This will not run. This will not run. Only deployment related tasks will run. Okay, so this is one of the use case, but once you understand this use of tags, you can skip that tasks at any point of time. Okay. Okay. Is progressing. Okay, there is some error, that is MongoDB report does not exist. So I forgot to copy. Okay, but anyhow, so let's imagine that is already completed. Now what I do here is, if I give only -t deployment, so you should imagine the first time we have installed it successfully. Second time the developer released a new version of catalog. We need to go for deployment, not for the full installation. Now, if you give like this, only the tasks related to the catalog will only run. Okay, you can see this. That's it. So this is the deployment from the second time. This is the usage of tags. You can have tags at the play level, task level, at anywhere. So you can have the full documentation available from Ansible. Very simple. You can go through it. Okay, you can see, you can give the tags here, adding tags to the individual tasks, and then Can give tags to the play level. Okay, you have tags everywhere, but the same concept and the same thing. Okay, that is about the tags. And the next thing is functions. Let's keep it for the last topic. And parallelism. So I told you multiple times the advantage of Ansible is Ansible can connect to all servers at a time. Okay. For example, you have 1,000 servers, 1,000 catalog servers. If you don't use Ansible, you need to log into the catalog one by one, and you need to configure it. But if you have Ansible have a capability to connect to the 1,000 servers at a time. But Ansible server should have resources to connect 1,000 servers. Ansible server obviously should have more RAM, CPU, etc. Okay. So ideally, in our production environments, your projects, if you really have 1,000 servers, then your Ansible servers are really powerful because they need to connect with all the servers at a time. Now, for example, here let us take 6 servers. Our task is to install Nginx. Okay. So let me launch 6 instances. Just naming it as Nginx DevOps practice. Say it without keep pair. Allow all. Making it as 6. Okay, launch instance. So this is very simple concept actually. Parallelism. Inventory. Here I am creating Nginx group. Let me take the all IP address here. Okay, so now you can maintain the variables also here. Nginx vars. Just giving Ansible underscore user equal to CentOS Ansible as a such pass. You can give the password also here, but not recommended generally. But for our concentration is on parallelism, not to discuss on the password related things. Okay. Yeah, you can give like this, or you can pass from the command line. It's not a matter. So these are called as group variables, Nginx group variables. These variables will be applied to all the hosts under this Nginx. Okay, now you can just create nginx.aml and then demo on parallelism. Spelling wrong. Hosts Nginx become yes, and then tasks name install nginx, and then ansible dot built-in dot yum name nginx state install, and then let us, so you should be at least write this playbook without checking Google, because in interviews they will ask, write a simple, they will ask you to share your screen, and they will ask you to write a simple playbook to install the nginx. Okay, and then run nginx. This is enough, not able, no need to remember everything, but for the interview purpose. Service name nginx state started. Okay, this is fine. Now push it. Now if you see parallelism, Ansible parallelism, Ansible by default can connect to the 4 servers. Okay, and you can configure that also. Folks, you can see in our default section. Okay, let me keep ansible.cfg also here. Ansible.cfg defaults forks. Forks is, I'm keeping it as 6 now. It means Ansible can connect to 6 servers in the inventory at a time. Okay, let me keep 3 so that you can see how is it happening. Okay, and you can keep inventory also here. Inventory is inventory. Okay, ports equal to 3. That means Ansible can connect to 3 servers at a time. We have 6 servers. Now we need to see how the parallelism is going on. If you have more resources, you can connect to 6 servers or 1,000 servers at a time. Ansible and playbook, and then nginx.yaml. Okay, all the information is available in inventory variables and ansible.cfg. Means Ansible invalid int literal for int with base 10. What is this? Let me check. If you have more processing power, you can have more forks. That's why is it not taking 3? Setting the number of forks. You can pass it from the command line also. What is error? Let us see once again. Invalid type of configuration option settings, default forks from home ansible.cfg, invalid literal for int with base 10. Okay, maybe they are expecting here a base of 10 actually. Let me comment this and let me pass it from the command line. Hit pull. Just a simple thing, -f 3. Okay, now you can see it is connecting 3 servers for the first time, and the next time 3 servers. So it is You'll see it is actually working on 3 servers. Right. Three servers are done. It picked first set of 3 servers, and next it is doing on next 3 servers. Now it will take some more time. Okay, so this is the parallelism concept, very simple. So it is always based on the Ansible server resources. That's it. Okay. You can go through this documentation, you can have more options here. So after parallelism, we have this heterogeneous feature. What is heterogeneous feature? We have multiple distributions, multiple Linux distributions. So commands vary. Generally, Ubuntu, the command to add the user is add user. For CentOS, the command to add the user is user add. Okay, so maybe 1 or 2% of the commands will change based on the distribution. If you use shell script, you need to run different commands. A single shell will not work. A single shell script will not work here. So let me take, but you can see Ansible user package, Ansible user module. So you are not running any commands here. Everything is taken care by the module. So this module, what it is doing in the background here, okay, before running this module, what it does in the background, you cannot see that. You know, the gather facts. Every time we are getting gather facts. Okay, so what is this gather facts is gathering the variables of the server. For example, this is gathering the variables of all these servers, and it will we will see that anyhow. Now you can let us just test on public IP address. Okay, and Nginx is running. So that is parallelism. So now let us discuss on heterogeneous. Heterogeneous. Let me delete all these servers. I'm launching. We have already one CentOS machine. I'm launching Ubuntu. Let me delete all the machines except Ansible. I'm launching one instance. So that is CentOS. Let me take CentOS machine, not our AMI. I'm attaching the key pair DevOps.pem. I have already there in the server. And this one, and launch instance. Your instance is ready. This is our instance. Let me create a folder, heterogeneous inventory, CentOS, Ansible.cfg. So here this Ansible underscore user is CentOS. Okay, in Ansible.cfg, I'm mentioning defaults inventory equal to inventory, and then private key file equal to /home /CentOS/devops.pem. Okay, inventory, private key, and then user. So now let us understand this facts. Okay. Name, understand facts, hosts, CentOS, and then tasks. So by default, it is getting the tasks. How can you see the tasks? How to print, gather facts in Ansible. Okay. Not that one. Ansible underscore facts. Okay. Tasks. I'm printing. Print all the facts. And Ansible and dot built-in dot debug for the printing purpose message all facts. Okay. This is the variable Ansible by default storing it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me push. It full heterogeneous. Now Ansible playbook facts. Okay, it is connecting to that. Now you can see these are all the variables. Gather. Okay. JSON beautifier. This will never work for them. Let's take this. Now these are all the facts we have. It's beautifying nothing. Okay, anyhow, let us just convince for this beautification. It's fine. Let me paste here. Wow, very difficult to understand. Mhm. Let us keep it inside our Visual Studio Code and select JSON. Okay, fine, not a problem. Okay, anyhow, you can see it is getting all the variables of the CentOS server. If you can see, there will be a distribution. You can see distribution is CentOS. So actually Ansible in the background, and it is getting the public key also. And resources also it will get. IP address generally, everything it will get. Okay. So in background, what Ansible is doing here is Ansible is gathering the facts and then it will check dynamically what is distribution. Okay. So how can it check? It is getting the facts from this. It can query for the distribution, and based on the distribution in background, you are writing a single module. That's it. You don't know what is the underlying OS, but in background, Ansible will change the command based on the distribution. Okay. So now if that is, if you want to see that as manually, how can it do in the background is, let me create one Ubuntu instance. We take Ubuntu server 22. Proceed without key pair. I'm launching Ubuntu instance also. This is our IP address. Now inside our inventory, I'll keep it Ubuntu. And what is the Ansible underscore user for Ubuntu? That is Ubuntu. So these are called as host variables. If you mention variables here, these are called as host variables. Okay. Now I want to give both CentOS as well as Ubuntu, or you can give all as well. Okay. So now, so what will happen? Add user. So generally, Ansible dot built-in dot command. If it is Ubuntu, what is the command to add user? Ubuntu create user is nothing but add user. Okay, add user. For example, Siva Kumar I am adding. So this is Ansible in the background generally. I'm just showing you manually how it happens in the background if you use the module. Just imagine we don't have any module. Just imagine we don't have, sorry, we don't have user module available. So there is no guarantee all the modules are available in Ansible. So in at the time, like in case when you are working on Ansible project, you have to work with multiple distributions, but you don't have the module available, you need to do like this. You need to write a condition when the variable is this one, Ansible underscore facts of distribution is Ubuntu. Okay, so the same command generally add user CentOS, add user Ubuntu. Then what is the distribution here? Variable, you can see. Distribution value. This is the value, CentOS. You can see distribution. Now this should be here, user add. Okay. Now let us push and git pull. Now you run this. Oh, unreachable. So which is unreachable? Ubuntu is unreachable. Why is it? Did I select the key pair for Ubuntu? No, that is why it is unreachable. So let me create another instance. Ubuntu. One second. Key pair, DevOps, and network settings. Ubuntu. Yeah. Key pair DevOps is that right? Yes. Now let me take this Ubuntu. This is the IP address. Push and pull here. Why is it not able to connect? So it connected, but there is an error. Add user Ubuntu. It is skipping 193. Why is it skipping 193? 193 is our CentOS. Why is it skipping? Because it is not the Ubuntu OS. So that is skipping, and then add user CentOS. There is an error. Cannot lock. Oh yeah, because we don't have the root user. We need to give the root user. So let me go here and then give become yes. Now git pull. Now you run it. So it is skipping Ubuntu, but it will run for CentOS. It is printing the facts of this server once and another server and another server. Is struck, but in background it would have created. Let us check it. Taking just one more session. Logging into the Ubuntu server, Ubuntu @ just the IP address. ID Siva Kumar. You can see it is created, but why is it stuck? It is stuck. That's it. I don't know why is it stuck. Let me generally create again. Okay, you can see now it is done. It's saying it's already exists. So this is how when a module is not available, you can gather the facts, and based on the lot of variables of the remote server, you can change the commands. But mostly Ansible things are available. For example, you use yum for the CentOS and you use apt for the Ubuntu. But if you are working with multiple operating systems, there is package module, Ansible package module. So it's a generic one, generic OS package manager. If you are using Ubuntu, automatically it will use apt-get in the background. If you use CentOS, automatically it will use m in the background. Okay, dealing with multiple distributions. But practically, we don't use this, because just imagine you are working on a catalog project. Okay, you are a DevOps engineer for a catalog project. So in our big project like e-commerce, Amazon and Flipkart, so there is a separate team for catalog project. That's a big project. Maybe few developers are working, few DevOps engineers are working. So if you use multiple OS distributions for the catalog host, then it is big headache for you. There is no single advantage of dealing with multiple OS distributions for a single project, because you need to maintain, you need to install, you need to configure, you need to take care of a lot of things. There is no single advantage. So one project always select one OS distribution. Maybe catalog, they can select Ubuntu, cart, they can select CentOS, because both are two different teams, two different persons too. So heterogeneous feature, mostly we don't use practically, okay, because that is a maintenance big headache, but it is the feature from Ansible. Okay, that's it. Now finally, let us just have functions. So in Ansible, we call functions as filters. Okay. So what is function generally? You know, yesterday we have created roles. That is a function. When you want a particular work to be repetitively, so you can create roles and you can call it whenever it is useful. Similarly, to manipulate the data, for example, let me create one directory called functions or filters. We call it as filters here. So we have a name that is Sivakumar. I want to make it into uppercase Sivakumar like this. So generally, how can you do it in Ansible? So Ansible is developed in Python language. You can develop your own Ansible modules using Python, and you can configure it using Ansible. But mostly we don't require custom modules. So we have the options available from the Ansible filters. Ansible filter uppercase. If you just type like this, if you have a variable, you can do this. Okay, let me just show you demo.ml name demo on filters hosts local host tasks convert into uppercase. Okay, here I'm giving one variable var's name. I'm just giving it like this. Debug message hello. So generally you will print like this, right? Name. But if you want filters, filters always has the pipe symbol. And if you give uppercase, what will happen? Ansible will convert this name into uppercase and it will print. Okay, now just let us just see this. Ansible playbook filters. Is this demo? Okay, you can see this, it completely printed in uppercase. So similarly, if you want lowercase, another a simple filter, you need to just give lower. Okay. Good. Okay, that's it. So like this, we have many filters available in Ansible. Okay, you can just see this. If a variable is not defined generally, you will get an error. For example, let me print something. Printing undefined variable. Printing undefined variable. Maybe you are expecting user to give from the command line, but sometimes he may forget to give from the command line. Message course is this one. Course. So you know this very well. Either the variable can be declared at play level, task level, inventory, or else separate file prompt, anywhere. Okay, but I didn't set it anywhere. Now you will get an error, obviously. It is undefined an error. Git pull. Okay, now it is saying undefined. So sometimes user will definitely may forget. So at that time you have an option to give some default. Okay, so I'm giving here default. What is the default here? I'm just giving DevOps. So now it will, the DevOps value will be set to the course variable automatically. Okay, so this is not the value, I think. Default value. It's not defined. We'll use default value 5. Okay, maybe this is this like this. Just That is number. This should be the string. Of sorry, this is not printing actually. This documentation is not perfect. Ansible setting default value for undefined variable. So inside double quotes we have, let me keep something here. Double quotes. It full keep again double quote. Line number 6, column 3. Anyhow, let's keep this something related to quotes. Let me print this as it is. And then check whether this is understood properly from the documentation or not. Okay, sorry, I'm just giving the mistake here. Sorry. I just left it. Now let us run this. Okay, now you can see printing 5. Let us just check the course default DevOps. Now here something quotes error. Okay, yeah. So this is one of the feature. If you forget to define the variable, you can always write something to provide the default variables. So like this, you have a lot of options to work with. And let me take one more thing on strings. Okay, splitting URLs, you can see this. If you give an URL, you can always get the host name. That means your website. Website. For example, let us take our joindevops.com. We have our badge 74S. So this is our website. From here, we want to extract host name. Extract host name. Debug message. So you can check URL split of host name. Okay. So our website pipe, this is the one. Okay, from this website, it will get you the host name. Okay, only this maybe joindevops.com. Okay, you can say this. So this filters or functions are doing some work for us if you give proper inputs. Now you can have some string related functions or date related functions manipulating text comments, manipulating strings. Okay. So you don't have a quote. If you want to give quotes, you can give it like this. And if you want to split a string, then you can give like this. Okay, now let us see this final example. Greeting, I'm giving greeting. Hello, Ramesh. How are you? Okay, now I want to split based on this comma. So for that purpose, they are giving something called split based on the comma. Okay, now if you just give split, debug and message. This is our greeting. Filter. Filter is always pipe symbol and split based on the comma. Okay, now you run this, you will get two different values. That is for the split. Let's see with quotes. Let me keep it single quotes because we already used double quotes here. Okay. Hit pull. Okay, you can see it split. So this is the like functions or filters. This is the universal concept. So you can have in programming languages also, you can have some mathematic functions of printing the date format, and you have many things. So finally, what you should understood from the filters or functions is, if you give proper input, you will get the desired output. You don't need to write yourself how to convert the uppercase. If you have to write it, then it will take, you need to write some Python code, right? To convert the string into the uppercase. So all these things, you can always get it from the filters or functions. In Terraform also, we have the same concept available, functions. If you give some input, you will get the output. You don't need to write anything. So these are default filters or default functions. Okay, so now let us have a few questions. That's all. We discussed all the concepts. You can have a few questions. Anyone have questions? You can raise your hand. Yes, Chandrasekhar.
Sir, did we discuss about Ansible Tower and Ansible Galaxy.
Ansible Galaxy is becoming a useless feature actually. In the documentation itself, they are not maintaining properly. And Ansible Tower is a commercial thing. We don't need that anyhow.
But in the interview, they will
So
write
Ansible Tower is there is no questions on Ansible Tower actually. So it is just a commercial feature from Red Hat. Okay, you need to buy the license, and instead of running the commands here, you can just have some UI.
Okay.
So in that UI, you will just give some clicks there. You can configure the inventories. Okay, so but the concept is same. If maybe in background, I will install some Ansible Tower and then I can show it to you.
Did you use when you were working at?
I never used actually Ansible Tower.
Actually, what is the main purpose of it? Ansible
This is the
Tower?
main purpose. Dash GUI.
The same like Windows.
I mean, we will get one website. So there
Okay.
you can, and like Nginx website you have, right? Similarly, you
Yes.
will get one website for Ansible. There you can configure. So I'm running these commands now, playbooks, all those things. There you can do it directly in the user interface. No need to log into the Ansible server actually.
Okay, in the real time, we won't use Ansible Tower units. Yeah.
You can use, yes. If you buy a license, you can use. Okay, but that needs a lot of resources also. But it is just a UI feature. Instead of logging into the Ansible server, you can access the inventory files. You can access many things from the UI. Okay, that anyhow, I will show you. That installation will take some time. But it cannot be discussed in these sessions. Okay, it's an extra feature. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I will install and then I will give the access to you all. You can start using it for some time. Thank you so much. Any other questions? No questions? Okay. So our Ansible topic is completed. Then later next session, we will move to another topic, maybe Terraform. Okay. So all the things, whatever, while creating instances, everything we are doing from the UI here, that is not at all recommended in real-time projects. We need to have something just like configuration as a code. So this is all configuration as a code. You are not installing anything manually. You are doing it from the Ansible. Similarly, infrastructure also, you should not create manually. You should do it from the script. Yes, Kishore?
Hi, good morning, Shiva.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, actually in the Ansible, you are not going to cover Ansible Vault.
Ansible Vault it will only work with Ansible. It will not work with other tools. Okay. So we have the universal thing called Secrets Manager from AWS. So that is more scalable and it can work with anything, any language, any tool. So we will use that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And even Ansible has integration with that. We will use that. Yeah.
Okay. While integrating with Secret Manager, we can do.
That is more robust and powerful. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, most welcome. Mahesh Babu Golla. Mahesh Babu Golla. Okay, so today anyhow it was a lengthy session. Thanks for joining. See you in tomorrow's session. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Today evening we will have QA session.